All right, everybody, welcome to Omnibros Live Sunday live stream. Coffee with the Omnibros. You got me here today. I'm Gabe, loves 90s comics. Also in this ragtag group of folks, we got the one, the only. We got over here to this side of me is my boy Lou, Comics Guide 101. What's going on this morning, bro?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Doing great. And Riley down there, Omnibus Collector, what's up with you, man? How you been?
I'm good. It's a nice Sunday. I wanted to join you guys to talk about this show because I have nobody else to talk about it with.
That seems to be like the consensus. There's really not too many other people to talk about other than like your online friends a lot.
Right.
Because nobody at my job cares. They don't really, they'll watch it. Some of the people I know, they watch it, but they don't know, like, they're not comic book people and they don't know, like, what Young Avengers is and stuff like that. So
right.
Anyways, we're going to be talking today, everybody. We're going to do a quick discussion, fairly quick, but a fun discussion on WandaVision with some spoilers, more than likely. And we're just going to hang out and have a good old Sunday chat with everybody. And this fiasco, this crazy fun time is brought to you by the one, the only, our favorite spot online to order all your omnibuses, collected editions, trade paperbacks at the best prices, up to 50% off. Free shipping on orders over $50. Excellent customer service. The best packaging in town. We're talking instocktrades.com, everyone. That's right. That's the place that we all go to, and we know we get the best service, the best prices, the best books. Instocktrades.com, everybody. So make sure if you're not checking them out already, you hit them up at instocktrades.com and make your orders. Also, this Saturday coming up is going to be our Omnibros After Dark Campfire Patreon. So we'll talk about that real quick as well. We do have a Patreon, everybody, so go ahead and hit that up. The link is down below. This week, what I'm talking about is for $5, once a month at least. We're talking about maybe doing a little bit more than just once a month. There's a lot of stuff going on with people moving and COVID and all kinds of crazy stuff in our personal lives. We're going to try to do more than one campfire. The campfire, which is one of our favorite things to do here, is a personal hangout session with all the Omnibros, your favorite Omnibro, your maybe not so favorite Omnibros, in a private Zoom. We got kind of hang out and we chat kind of like this. We're all on the screen together. A lot of great friends that we met through there. A lot of people making connections. It's a great time. It's Omnibros After Dark, so it's no holds barred. Like, we really get into crazy discussions. We talk about crazy stories that happened in the past, hot takes on stuff that we really don't get into here live on YouTube. So it's a great, awesome time to meet new people, get some more content from us. We appreciate everybody and we love you for it. So check out our Patreon. And if this is your first time around here today on Sundays, make sure you hit that like button, everybody. We got a couple handful of dickheads who like to give us a thumbs down. So how about we counteract that negativity with positivity and say fuck you to them and give us some thumbs up. And that's how you do it. And then also hit that subscribe button too, folks. So let's get this started. So anyways, did you guys see Galactus that showed up in WandaVision?
My favorite part was when Squirrel Girl rode in with Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yeah, and Batman's everywhere.
But Riley, what do the colors mean? That's the real question here.
That was definitely showing us that we had Rage.
I knew this was going to come up.
The New Mutants coming up. She holds it like she's like got a dirty dish rag or something.
Oh, we're just jumping right into this. Okay. What did you all think of episode 3?
Hold up, real quick. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to do this real fast because we might be talking about some spoilers, dudes. So yeah. Here's the spoiler tag so that everybody in the chat, everybody watching this on the rewatch. First off, sorry, it's totally rude. I didn't say hi to everybody in the chat yet. So hi, Thank you, everybody, for showing up here in the chat today. We appreciate everybody watching us right now on an early Sunday morning. This is your church. You know, forget the tithing, forget the craziness at your church. Come here to Omnibros Live. And, we'll confess our sins. I don't know.
There you go.
Whatever it is.
And the super chat is us passing around the collection plate. So you need to give us 10% of because it's the tithe. So there you go.
So totally awesome. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's get into quick discussion here about WandaVision. Like we were saying, all right, guys, this is episode 3. Episode 1 and 2 we talked about last time. We talked about here on the show, and we all liked it. It was cool and it's fun, and it is what it is. It was a slow burn. I do think it was a setup, but finally here on episode number 3, things got serious in this episode. This is the episode that really, I felt, kind of opened the door, kick-started everything, gave you a bunch of answers, and those answers led, of course, to more questions because it's fantastic writing, and that's how things work. Lots of great stuff did happen on this third episode. Let's talk about some of that real quick. What's some of your guys' favorite stuff that we saw on this episode? Besides Squirrel Girl and Galactus.
Yeah, of course. You know, got to get them out of the way.
Yeah.
Man, I think this is supposed to be 9 episodes, so we're a third through, and this really does feel like the end of the first act. But I think one of my favorite things was this. There was that little scene where Vision kind of starts having the revelation of like things are not right here, and then promptly it's rewinded. That was something that I really liked because that was the first thing in this episode that gave me a lot of like what I think is going on here and kind of pulled the curtain back just enough for me to have a really good theory about what's happening. But yeah, it was a chock full of stuff. And I know I didn't get to talk about the first 2 episodes with you guys, but definitely, like you said, this is like the first 2 episodes are setting stuff up. And then the third one is like, boom. All right, here we go. Here's like a million different things to think about.
Yeah, they hit the ground running right out the gate with this third episode. This is up, maybe because it means something, because it was in color. It was in color for the first time, and that probably means something. There's a lot of stuff that did happen here. A lot of character reveals. You got some things I really liked is the whole thing with Geraldine and how the neighbors. It was very much like. Damn it! What's that Jim Carrey movie where he's on TV the whole time and he doesn't know it?
Truman Show.
Truman Show. Thank you. God damn it!
That was the exact thought I had by the end of it when you get to see like, I guess the dome where everything is. That was my exact thought. Was like, oh man, this is so much like Truman Show.
Yeah, well, because the neighbors were like right there, like they're trying to tell Vision something is up with that Geraldine character without trying to flat out say it. And the one guy, I forgot his name, the male neighbor was like getting ready to say it, and then the Agnes was like, you gotta, no, this ain't happening here. Like she kind of cut it, but you saw the stuff. The sword is starting to kind of pop up a little bit. Geraldine had the little sword icon on her.
I thought it was an inverted.
Everywhere. It's been popping up on the helicopter. It's popped up on her necklace. Like there's something with the sword.
On her necklace, I thought it was an inverted cross, and I was like, "Wait a second, what?" And then like,
Satan worshiper. This is weird.
Yeah, that's Geraldine. Isn't she Monica Rambeau?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she gets credited as such too. We do know that that's definitely Monica, and then we also know that the voice that she heard was definitely Jimmy Woo.
Right. So for those of you out there that don't know, Monica Rambeau was the original Captain Marvel, the first female Captain Marvel, but I think the second Captain Marvel that we had in the comics. Right. Before Kelly Sue DeConnick and that run kind of really kicked off, like a really new renaissance for that character.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau was Captain Marvel, like mid '80s, early '90s, I think, or stuff. Like she was in it for a minute. She was in it for a while. She also had some good stuff going on with Next Wave. They really made fun of her a lot in Next Wave. She was like, I was on the Avengers, and then they flash back and they start making sandwiches or something. Like Captain America was making a sandwich. It's really messed up, but it's really that's just the tongue-in-cheek nature of that book. But it's really
the next wave is just for those of you out there. We're getting off on a tangent, but if you haven't read Warren Ellis's Next Wave, it's some of the funniest fucking comics that you'll ever read.
Yeah. Roberto Rodriguez in the chat says it's 9 episodes. It's going to be 3 episodes per act. So 3 acts, 3 episodes each.
I see the discussion about how many acts are in stuff. And yeah, generally you get 3 acts like in a play or something, and that's how you divide films. But when I think it's Japanese theater, they use 5-act structure. So there are things that have different. You do have 1-act plays as well sometimes.
Yeah.
So there's some other things about this episode we need to really touch base on. We're going to get into like the spoilery side of things for sure. And that's definitely it happened in the end of episode 2 with Wanda getting, showing signs of being pregnant. And this is an immediate, quick, fast-paced pregnancy for her in this episode. Like she went from, showing to the end of the episode, spoilers, where she actually gives birth to the twins, to the twin boys. The twin boys who people may not know, but it's Wiccan, and I can't think of the other character's name.
The one nobody cares about.
Speed.
Is it just Speed? Is that how creative they got with his name for the Speedster character?
Yeah, they definitely
named him after a Keanu Reeves movie.
They named him after a drug. Oh, hey, we pulled the same book.
Yeah.
In the comics, they're named Wiccan and Speed or whatever, but here they're given different names.
Well, it's their real names. It's just Tommy.
Yeah, we just get Tommy and Billy here.
Yeah.
Some trash on this. So yeah, it brings in the question of, are we going to see these characters, if they do continue to exist outside of this show, outside of this, fictional world within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, basically, like, could we start seeing the Young Avengers come together? And this is just getting, kind of getting ahead. But of course, we have the twins, so we have those characters, and we have Kate Bishop in Hawkeye as well. And it's not outside of the question for us to see some of these other characters start appearing. I know America Chavez is appearing in something as well.
Yeah, I think she's supposed to be in. I'm guessing it's the Ms. Marvel Netflix series or Disney Plus series. Excuse me.
Right. So
looking forward to that.
A good amount of the cast from I've got the Brian Lee O'Malley variant on that one, but we have much of the cast from.
Guess which one I got?
Oh, twinsies!
Twinsies! I didn't realize I had this one. I was like, I normally would have picked the regular cover, the Jamie McKelvey cover. Jamie McKelvey's work in this book is phenomenal. It's that guy is awesome, and he did this storyline of Young Avengers is great. He did that Warren Ellis Secret Avengers, 2-3 issue story arc that was out of control, fantastic. He does great action, he does great characters. But yeah, so with the twins, Tommy and Billy, they do kind of disappear in the comics for a while. And that is kind of the catalyst that eventually leads to Wanda snapping, not literally snapping like Thanos, but her mental health really snaps, and that brings out the House of M. And there's a lot in this show so far that seems like they're pulling through House of M a little bit, or a lot. Like it's not, you don't have like Wolverine leading, the way or any of that kind of alternate universe stuff that happens in here. But the idea of Wanda's magic or her hex powers, like taking control of her or going a little too crazy, or she having like this full reign over this, I don't know if it's like a separate universe that she created, like a pocket universe, or some kind of weird, like in a dome, like in a way Truman Show style, but she seems to have full control over the entire universe.
Yeah, my understanding of it is that she's basically taken over a town, and the town is completely sealed off. And in this ideal town, at least in her mind, she's the one that's kind of taken over it, and she's in control of all these people, and most of them don't even realize what's going on. But the veneer is starting to crack for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I shared my idea with you guys in our chat, and my basic consensus on this is the villain of this series is Wanda. Wanda's doing this to herself. It's not, Hydra or whatever. It's not the Beyonder. There was a tease for the Beyonder in the first or second episode, but I don't think it's any of that. It's like you guys both kind of said, Gabe mentioned House of M, and then Lou, you mentioning, she creates this kind of, she's converted the town this way. My idea is basically because the last time that we see her, Infinity War, she got snapped away and she comes back, and one of the last things we see from her is her going up to Thanos with her, you took everything from me line. And after that, after the battle's done, we see her only for a little bit in the funeral sequence. I think that after this, she's grieving really heavily. Because like she says, like the line that she says to Thanos, that's important. You took everything from me. She doesn't have anything anymore. The life that she had envisioned, no pun intended, with Vision, is completely ripped away from her. And she goes into a deep depression where she decides basically that she's going to create her own kind of version of what she saw, what she imagined for themselves. And I don't know if maybe like the sitcom theming is because she's watched a lot of TV for some reason. Maybe when she and her brother were captured by Hydra, they had them, the TV was on, or I don't know what it is, but she like envisioned this perfect sitcom life where like everything was fine, everything was nice. It was only small things that would get in the way. And that's why the conflicts in the first two episodes are just little things like, oh, we have to deal with dinner with your boss, and oh my gosh, we're doing this magic show and it all goes crazy. Like, because she looks at, that's what her life was supposed to be. And she's happy, she's married, all of a sudden she's pregnant, like they have a nice home in a nice town with their friends. They have their kids. So she's speeding through this reality that she's created. And Sword is the leftovers of S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. is no longer around. Sword has been created by former agents who are kind of getting back together. And Sword now is trying to break into her dome of influence, because she, like Lewis said, she's taken over this entire town with her magic, with her abilities, and they're trying to come in there and save her from herself as well as save anyone else who might be impacted. So right. the little things that we're seeing, like the helicopter coming through, the man with the beekeeper aim looking costume, that's someone else coming through, and then Geraldine or Monica is the biggest thing that was able to break through. And the point where, because I mentioned the point where Vision kind of snaps up and like starts realizing something's going on, and then it rewinds. And I think that in the first couple episodes, we're all searching for like, it's a villain who's doing this, like what villain would be able to do that? But I realized at that point, like, this is Wanda. She's like trying to keep him, or this like version of him that she's created, from realizing what's going on. And so she rewinds it. She changes it so that everything's back to normal. And then at the end of the episode, when Monica, who's not really under the influence of Wanda's magic like everyone else is, she says something to her and mentions, didn't Ultron kill your brother? And I think she does that on purpose. It's not a slip of the tongue. She did that because she's trying to see if she can break Wanda out of this daze. Wanda immediately turns and is like, what did you say? And throws her out, like physically throws her out of here, because she's trying to not allow anyone to break her away from this this
fantasy.
Exactly. This like paradise fantasy that she's created for herself. So she's going to wind up ultimately being the villain, if you will, of this. And I know that they've had teases of teases of like Hydra, and I think that the stuff with Hydra and Strucker and the Stark Industries toaster, these are all just subconscious memories of Wanda's that are kind of populating what she's seeing and what she's creating in this world, but it doesn't really mean anything more than that. She's just like, oh, Hydra was a thing. Strucker was a person. Stark is a thing. So that's as far as my theories go right now in how this is playing out. And I think as we go further, it's going to start peeling apart little by little as eventually agents of S.W.O.R.D. are able to come in and infiltrate. The biggest question I have, though, is I highly do believe, like a lot of other people, that Agnes is supposed to be like Agatha Harkness, and I don't know if she is aware of things. I don't know if Agatha Harkness, maybe they found someone else who has magic powers and S.W.O.R.D. asked her to infiltrate, or maybe she's just a person that already existed in that town who like is not able to be manipulated as easily as the other people in town. I don't know. That's as far as I go, though.
Well, for those that don't know, Agatha is a big mentor to Wanda.
Right.
She's and the theory, it's pretty much, come on, it's got to be her at this point. The theory is that the neighbor, the lady that keeps popping up in every single episode, is actually Agatha. She is, I firmly believe she is fully aware of everything that's going on. She's one of the few people in the town. And we know that all this is eventually leading into the Doctor Strange movie. That's been confirmed, that Wanda will be in the Strange film. And Doctor Strange film is called the Multiverse of Madness. We also know that Spider-Man is also going to be playing with the multiple dimension thing. So that's going to tie into this as well. What threw me off about there not being a villain was in the second episode when Agatha, they talk about the devil is in the details, and Agatha mentions that's not the only place he's in. I took it as, well, maybe it's Mephisto that's doing this. But as this episode came in, I'm like, maybe that was just a throwaway line to establish what Mephisto is. And eventually they'll come back to that in a Multiverse of Madness. But in this particular episode, it really solidified the fact that I think there is no central villain. That I do just think it's Wanda herself that is doing this, and she is completely she's grieving through the process of losing vision, and this is her way of coping with it, trying to get through that pain. And like I said earlier, the signs of it are starting to crack, and every single time that fake reality starts to bend or starts to not play out how she wants it, she just changes it. Now, if she's doing it intentionally or not, I'm not 100% sure, because it could also just be that through her grieving and through that really painful process, she doesn't fully have control of her powers yet.
Right.
I 100% think she's doing this as a coping mechanism, and she's fully aware, and she fully knows that what she's doing and that this isn't real, but she doesn't want to give up the ghost. And that's where the rewind happens, and she's kicking people out who is not supposed to be a part of her setup and her stage and her show. So
I don't fully know if she's fully in control of it. We've seen moments where she's aware that something's not right, and that's part of the reason why she dumped out Monica Rambeau out of the sphere. But I'm not 100% sure that what she is experiencing, she's fully in control or aware of it. I think that where we're obviously heading is going to tie in to Doctor Strange and to Spider-Man. The veneer will finally crack towards the end of the series, and in doing so, she'll pretty much wreck all realities. That's how awesome. Through her tragedy and through her finally everything just coming down, she is going to just shatter every single reality. And Wanda, is Spider-Man coming out before Doctor Strange or Doctor Strange before Spider-Man?
Spider-Man
it's Doctor Strange. Is it Spider-Man first?
I'm pretty sure. Check the dates.
Because COVID has now just completely. I gotta imagine it's gotta be a pain.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, because I know they're both filming right now. because
Right.
there's have been like Daredevil showing up. No, but they're not filming Doctor Strange. This is all Spider-Man talk. Like Daredevil showing up in Spider-Man and all that stuff.
But I think they have. Well, we know they started Thor. They started filming Thor this week. They started Spider-Man.
Guardians. I think Guardians is coming up soon too.
They haven't started Guardians. James Gunn is wrapping up Suicide Squad, and he's also making the Peacemaker show before he starts up Guardians again. I think it's all going to be leading up to reality basically breaking in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It's going to be all about trying to repair it.
Oh, okay. I like that idea because I like the idea of I want this show to have consequences that are felt outside of the show that leads into like the next phase of movies or leads into the rest of some of the Disney Plus series, because House of M is such an interesting storyline and they're hinting at it. They're doing bits and pieces of it here now. And I like the idea of Wanda, like so Vision's already dead. We know that. Long gone. He died in Endgame. He's not back. Like I don't think they created him back. I think this is a fake Vision that she's having literally in this Vision that in this fantasy world she's having. I don't think this is the real Vision. I think it's a fake Vision. And eventually this fantasy is going to snap. It's going to break. This fantasy is going to break. She's going to realize she has to get back into reality and realize that Vision's dead and that her two sons are not real. And that's, I think, is the consequences that's going to lead into, like you said, the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness and all that kind of great stuff.
Right.
Well, and I hope we do get the Young Avengers out of it. I hope we do see these characters, like she somehow manifests them into real life or something.
I think we will. I think this is all leading to that big House of M moment where if you read House of M, Wanda goes, "No more mutants," and that was that huge, like, whoa, that huge big moment. But it won't be obviously no more mutants because we still don't technically have mutants in the MCU.
Oh, check this out real quick. I found this image. I can load up some images here for us. So yeah, like this one here this is the House of M. This is the moment where she snaps, where she kind of breaks. Let me get this thing, our banner out the way real fast. Here's Agatha, and she's asking where her children are, and this is the part where that really hits hard and creates the House of M.
You guys remember when that first dropped? You remember when House of M first
Oh
hit?
yeah.
Whoa, this happened. And she wipes out half the mutants just by saying that real quick.
I think it could have a major, like y'all are saying, like a major no more mutants type thing at the end, but it might be her doing something to try and make what she had real. So like not destructive, but more creative. But it could still have the big ramifications that are being mentioned. Because like, Lou, like you said, this is supposed to lead into Doctor Strange in some way. I don't know how. I don't know if, you're right and it's going to be kind of like Superboy punching the multiverse in Infinite Crisis and breaking everything, or if it's going to wind up being like something completely different. Maybe she accidentally creates like a rift in space that opens up the multiverse. Who knows? I'm not sure exactly like how it's going to lead into it, but what I hope happens, I'll say, is by the end of it that she goes ahead and makes Vision again, and she makes her kids real, and I hope that brings us more characters basically into the next waves. So that we can eventually get Young Avengers.
Right. Well, they've been slowly starting to build up the Young Avengers team, and it's the thing. They're not even putting it at the forefront. They're just slowly starting to bring in characters now.
Yeah, they're bringing in all these characters. Like
we have. We know that we're getting Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye show, so that's 3 right there. Nothing yet on Hulkling, but who knows where that can play out. Who else are we missing?
Loki could still show up and as a teenage kid maybe.
Right. And Loki has his TV show next year that's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, if the rest of Young Avengers, like we don't have Patriot, we don't have Iron Lad yet, which those great characters can show up. It's not like it's impossible to just, Iron Lad is just a future version of another character that comes back in time. Patriot's a character you don't really have to like introduce, or do some big setup for. You could just introduce him, And I think that's really it for the Young Avengers, at least the Young Avengers that we know. I mean, they could always add more and do something
Right.
else. And maybe that's where Miss Marvel's coming from or leading into as well. So maybe we'll get Wanda marries Doctor Doom. I don't know, something crazy like that.
Well, we also know that Kang is coming. They've confirmed Kang the Conqueror is going to be the new Ant-Man. Which,
that ties into Iron Lad too.
It's kind of weird because I don't associate Kang with Ant-Man. So, but Kang's big on time travel and all that stuff. So we'll see how that works out and everything. So I'm excited for what's coming ahead. This is actually the first time in a minute that I've been super excited for what's coming ahead. And I don't know if it's Cassie Lang. So we are getting Cassie Lang.
Awesome.
Yeah. So this is the first one that I'm super excited for the future of this. Maybe it's just because we didn't get anything last year. But now there are rumors even saying that we're not going to get the Black Widow movie this year, that Disney is even considering pushing that back even more. So I'm like, well, we're not going to get an MCU film this year. So I guess we're getting all the TV shows, which has got to mess up. However, they had originally planned to structure all these shows and movies coming out.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I like the idea. Like I said, I want consequences to be felt from this series because I like the idea that this stuff is a part of the MCU and it's a part of the main storyline. Where like the TV show Shield wasn't really like that attached. Like I'm sure they had certain characters from there, but none of the stories really were connected. You didn't have to really watch Shield for the rest of the MCU stuff. But with this, with Disney Plus stories so far with WandaVision, it feels like you're gonna have to watch this. Like, this is like phase 3.5 or something like that.
Can we also say this was by far the best episode of the three?
Oh yeah, by far, easy. Yeah. I mean, I think you said it earlier that they released 3 episodes to
the press. Yeah, I said it last week.
Viewers, right?
So they released 3 episodes to the press and the reviewers. We only got the first 2 the first week. Mm-hmm. I kind of think they should have just dropped the first 3 because this is the first act. And I know people that are like, I didn't really care for the first 2 episodes. It really wasn't my bag. And some people even dropped off the show because of that. But this is really the episode where things really start to kick off and really start to get a lot better.
Did you? I know your fiance was not feeling the first 2 episodes.
She wasn't. But we finished episode 3, and she was like, "Is the 4th episode up yet?" And I'm like, "Oh, no."
That's how my wife was. She's like, "They're only doing 1 episode now." I go, "Yeah, they just did the 2 just to kind of kind of like chum the waters a little bit."
But and it's good that they did 2 because if you look at those first 2, the first one really was very straightforward, and the second one was where it started to get a little bit more interesting, and you end with that cliffhanger of everything's in color and you are pregnant now, and then that's enough to get some people, even if they're like, I don't know how I feel about those, it's enough to get people to come back for that next episode.
I liked it too because I remember when I used to watch those older TV shows, those black and white shows when I was growing up, they always showed it like 2 episodes at a time. Like it was always like an hour block of like I Love Lucy or Bewitched or something like that. There was always 2 episodes back to back. So it kind of still felt like watching that stuff again.
So what's the 80s one? Because I know the 90s one is Roseanne, but what show are we supposed to be getting for 80s? And hopefully it's Alf.
What was a big family show in the 80s? Growing Pains? No.
Growing Pains was one. I mean, that's just the title alone is really kind of appropriate for the series. I don't know. What about the chat? What good 80s shows were there? I'm trying to think.
I said in the 90s I would love it if it was a spoof of Married with Children.
Yeah, I think we talked about that before, where Vision has to work at a shoe store. And he talks about like his 3 touchdowns he had in high school. 80s. I'm trying to think of good 80s shows. Family Ties.
What was Steve Urkel? Or is that 90s?
That was 90s. That was Family Matters.
Family Matters.
Won't do Cosby Show. Yeah, I don't think they'll touch the Cosby Show.
They will not do the Cosby Show.
No.
I'm trying to see pictures, and maybe is the 4th one going to be the...
Or maybe they dropped the
full. Maybe it's I don't know. I'm looking at the picture from the 4th one, and she looks like she's from like in Full House, but that was in the 90s, right?
We're still talking spoilers.
Hey, Jess.
Damn it!
I think we're done with the episode 3. We're speculating what we think the theme for episode 4 is going to be like TV show wise. What's a good 80s TV show, Jess, that could have been like the spoof or the inspiration for the next WandaVision episode, do you think?
Okay. I will sign off then and sign back in 5 minutes. Because I haven't seen 3 yet, so I don't know what to predict for episode 4. You guys have been talking for 40 minutes about WandaVision?
There's a lot to talk about.
Damn it. I need to go see it if I just didn't feel so bad.
This is the best episode of the 3 so far.
Yeah, it's do what you gotta do to get yourself feeling better, Jess, and when you're back to normal, definitely put this on. Are
you condoning my use of drugs?
Not at all. I'm saying do whatever you gotta do to feel better. Take extra drugs, whatever it takes. It might be even better. Little extra pain pills might make this show be a little more interesting.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
there you go.
All right, well, I'll come back in a minute.
Yeah, we'll hit you up.
Okay.
Right.
I think we're gonna get Full House. Just looking, and then Roseanne, because both of those started in the 80s, but they ran into the 90s.
Well, the images I'm seeing right now, it has them holding their babies, and it's 100% Roseanne.
Is it the one where she's wearing like the plaid short sleeve, or the one where she's wearing the sweater and the vest?
The sweater and the vest, and Vision has like a
plaid button up.
Yeah.
Does Wanda go on to say racist things on her Twitter account?
Whoa.
Because there's another picture of her where it looks more like, I don't know if you can see that or find that image, Gabe, but like she looks more, that looks more Roseanne than the other. But it's Vision's clothes are what's turning me to be like, yeah, but she looks like she's in Full House, but he looks like he's in Roseanne with his plaid button up.
Maybe it's a mashup of 80s, 90s for the next one.
She's losing it. And that's what happens is she's just mixing her references now.
But yeah, it's such a great show. I love the first couple episodes. This third one is definitely like this is the linchpin episode where it's like, all right, things are starting to happen.
Well, they've said that they're eventually going to drop the whole sitcom thing, and then it's going to be more an actual, like what you would expect a Marvel show to be about. So I'm kind of curious how long they're going to keep going with every single episode as the season. I mean, modern day would be Modern Family, right? Like the 2000s, 2008, that'd probably be a spoof on Modern Family.
Yeah, if they go that far. I mean, we'll see what happens. Did you guys see kind of like the teaser they kind of hid in one of the opening sequences of Grim Reaper?
Reaper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a teaser?
Yeah, here, I got an image real quick. Watch.
Yeah, it's there.
Oh, hey.
There's a lot. Here's the thing. There's a lot of deep cut stuff in this show that you can totally miss and you could be fine. But if you've been reading this stuff for years, you'll catch a lot of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's what's fun about this is you don't have to be a comic book nerd, super nerd for 30 years to enjoy this stuff. But you get a little bit more out of it. Like, you know, you kind of get to figure out some of the Easter eggs and you notice like, oh, hey, I know that reference, you know? So things like that, but you don't have to be that way to enjoy it. Like the people who are just MCU fans are definitely getting a lot out of this too.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing a really good job, I think, of this so far. I'm looking forward to episode 4.
This makes me really excited for what they're going to do with Doctor Strange, especially with Sam Raimi directing it, and how that's going to play into the multi-universes and things like that. I'm really looking forward to this next Doctor Strange film.
It would be awesome if we did get A-Team where Knight Rider is the 80s.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Them driving around in kit.
Yeah.
Monica as B.A. Baracus.
We have to give her sleeping pills to make her get on the flight and stuff.
Hey, what if just you mentioning Doctor Strange again? What if her involvement in Doctor Strange is in being an antagonistic character?
So before the show even kicked off, I had a weird theory where I was like, what if her personality is split, and in one version she's Wanda and the other one is Scarlet Witch? Like this all causes her to split into two people, and they're just me spitballing like crazy. And in film, it's Wanda teaming up with Doctor Strange to stop Scarlet Witch.
It's like a. I was trying to think of what that reminds me of. I have something on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
like Warlock and Magus.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome. I would love some Warlock Magus references to happen, but that's probably won't be until later and things. But all right, so we want to move forward and get Jess back in here. Are we done with spoilers?
He can circle in, and then I'm gonna have to circle out because my wife wanted me for lunch.
Cool. Let me see if we can get it back in real fast.
Yeah,
I guess it's not the Omni dog signal.
I got about 12 minutes. What you think we're getting any more omnibuses out of this?
Well, that's a good question.
I don't know. I would have thought because they did put out some things, some Scarlet Witch and Vision like collections and stuff. But it was all just the thick paperbacks. They did one that was like the original Vision and Scarlet Witch 12-issue series, followed by I think there was also a 4-issue series. They just packed those together. I would have hoped to have something like that. Like I don't know if you've seen the Loki omnibus that they've solicited, but it's just a bunch of random issues of Thor, like classic Thor with Loki as the focal point. They could have done the same and had like a bunch of classic Avengers related material with Scarlet Witch and Vision as the focal points, just to give you like a nice like look at everything important for their characters, from like their creation all the way through to let's say like Bronze Age or 90s, like stuff before let's just say before disassembled and before House of M. Like you get everything leading up to that point. That would have been interesting.
What's your stance on House of M? Because I know a lot of X-Men fans that really have hated it in hindsight now because of everything that's done to the characters.
I love it. It was my favorite of the Bendis era of like events and stuff. And I like, yeah, it really, I mean, it decimated literally the X-Men and the mutants and stuff that existed at the time. But at the same time, like, there were too many mutants. There needed to be a culling.
All right, just that. I was only Benjamin Wyatt. Thank you, sir. Loving all the new shows lately, guys. Omnibus Collector. Love all the new content on your channel. Just grab those Pokemon Collector's Editions. Oh, it sounds like Riley Superbait is somebody else.
My video was only like 9 minutes of it was an actual review of those books, and the rest of it was like I was talking about when I first got into Pokemon, and like I called my mom and my sister and asked them like what they remembered about Pokemon, and I had like those conversations recorded, and I had those playing at the end of the video. But so like I was really happy with the video, and after I posted it, I realized like, did I do a good enough review of these books to like actually say how much I love them? Because I felt like I just gushed about Pokemon for 30 minutes instead.
And for the super chat, yeah, throw up the
oh wow
party sticks. Every time we get a super chat, we gotta throw up the party cards.
That came in the right time.
Did come at the right time, Jess.
What if the last episode of WandaVision Squirrel Girl just pops up and saves everything?
God damn it, shut up.
Just love the idea that Squirrel Girl might be a thing sooner or later.
When I signed off the Omnibros chat last night, right before I did it, and I saw Riley put Squirrel Girl versus Galactus, I knew he was super baiting me, and I was like, God damn you, Riley.
But she was beat Thanos. She did beat Thanos.
Stop.
Yeah, I agree. Quit it.
Ignorant. It's the dumbest stuff.
I think I have that in here.
Quit it. It's not a canon. She doesn't exist.
Endgame would have been 10 minutes long if Squirrel Girl was in it. Is all.
Squirrel Girl versus Wanda. Who wins?
There's Squirrel Girl versus Dr. Doom.
This is stop.
I just picture Gabe hovering over the boot button for me and Riley, right?
This doesn't have the Galactus one, I don't think, but it has the original appearance.
That's the perfect gift, that FBCK one.
I think this collection recently went out of print, actually.
Oh, thank God.
Squirrel Girl and the Great Lakes Avengers. It has
Let's keep it there.
Great Lakes Avengers miniseries from Dan Slott, which was really funny. I'll put this back before Jess loses his mind.
Oh, and I just gotten over my migraine. It's giving me a Squirrel Girl migraine.
I'm giving him another migraine.
So we've got some questions in the chat. Great talk about WandaVision, guys. So that was real fun. No more spoilers, everybody. We're good.
We're good to go. Yeah, we're done.
The spoiler ban is gone. So the banner is gone. So we're ready to just talk about whatever else is going on. That's not spoilers for WandaVision.
You guys talked for almost 50 minutes on that. I got to see this episode.
There's a lot to talk about.
Okay.
We did a good job because we even talked about the books that you kind of need to get that kind of explain certain things going on. So we got we were talking about Young Avengers a little bit, House of M, all that kind of stuff. So
I had some hot take theories and stuff I needed to get off my chest.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad I missed those. Those are what I don't want to hear.
Wait, serious question. Are we getting we're getting a Darkhawk issue this year, right?
Yes.
I really am curious. I thought I read something about us getting a Darkhawk issue this year, right?
Issue or omnibus?
An issue. We're getting at least a one-shot issue for his anniversary.
Yeah.
I'll get it and dunk it in root beer and then put it right with his action figure.
Wait, who's writing the issue?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
Is that Guardians of the Galaxy that's coming up, or are you talking about something else?
No, Guardians doesn't. It's just issue 13 of Guardians has a new team with a new costume and a new artist. So they're making a big deal out of it without a new number one. But there's just a new issue number one of Darkhawk with a subtitle that I don't remember.
Dude, have you seen the lineup for that Image Comics horror anthology that they've got going on?
No.
Yeah.
Oh man, it is stacked. It's the same artist, but each issue is a different writer.
What's the name of the book?
Coin something. It has to do with coin something. Hold on.
Squirrel Girl taking on the Image universe.
Michael Wilson asked, do you guys think it's going to be tough to get that Cap DM cover this week?
It'll sell out first.
It's a good week for books. Some good stuff coming out this week for sure. From Marvel, from DC, some good stuff coming out. And we'll talk about that on tomorrow's show as well.
The only one I remember, because I don't even remember everything that's coming out, is the new Teen Titans 5. I think is the only one that I have on my list.
Teen Titans 5. The reprint for Captain America, the Ed Brubaker stuff.
Yeah.
I forgot what else there is, but it's a good week.
It's called.
It's been pretty dead the last couple of weeks of stuff. So,
Michael Walsh is on art. Chip Zdarsky, Kelly Thompson, Ed Breeson, and Jeff Lemire are all writing for it.
Man of Steel 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Superman, Kryptonite, Nevermore. Venom 2.
John
Wait,
Resnick Volume 2 is coming out too.
I think Venom 2 is coming out. Is that right?
Oh, the hardcover. It's either it might have been pushed to the first week of February.
I think you're right. It did.
All right.
To the first week.
So I'm looking at Diamond right now, and that DM cover for Captain America is already back ordered, not stock.
Which did this printing have 3 covers, or is it only 2?
It's 2, and they're both, according to Diamond at the moment, they're both sold out before they go.
Wow.
To ship, or I mean, they already shipped out, but they shipped out sold out so far.
Are you guys getting the hardcovers for Venom, or are you holding out for the eventual omnibus? Because Kate's the issue 200 of Venom is going to be his. That's it.
Yeah. I'm getting the hardcovers. I'm getting the OAC as they come out.
Is there a lot of double dipping with Absolute Carnage and Venom 2?
It's like half.
Half? Okay, I'm getting the OHC then.
Because the way that, God damn it, I lost the tab. Here we are. I got to go in 2 minutes, as does Lou. But the oversized hardcover for Venom Volume 2 has the tie-in issues of Venom that are in Absolute Carnage. So it's about half of that.
Okay.
And that, like Lou said, that he mentioned, Kate's mentioned or has shown that 200 is his last issue. It's very much obvious they're going to do an omnibus. They Omar has said that he is like in direct communication with David about printing omnibus editions of his work. So like he's gonna the story that he had told about
is in direct communication with David.
Yeah, because the story that Omar had said was like that David reached out to Donnie and was like, "Hey, we want to do a hardcover of Absolute Carnage," and then Donnie kept saying what to add in there because he's like, "Oh, you have to have this, you have to have that," and eventually he's like, "Let's just make it an omnibus," and then that's why it's an omnibus instead of just the oversized hardcover for the event. And so it would make sense. They probably right now have been working on a King in Black one as well. And then after everything's done, they'll probably do the whole run. And I'm gonna say I would rather they just cut the events out, but I know that they'll probably keep the main event storylines in if they do a full Kate's Venom omnibus.
And no tie.
Yeah, because you know not everyone buys the event ones, and the tie-ins they're fun to have, but they're not necessary.
What tie-ins are these?
The tie-ins for like Absolute Carnage and King in Black. All right, it's noon. I gotta go.
Okay. But the Namor one's actually not bad. The Namor time.
I haven't read any King in Black yet, but I have everything like queued up so I can read it. Okay, I'm gonna peace out. You guys have a good one. Take it easy. Bye. Love everyone.
I haven't read any King in Black, so I want an oversized hardcover of it.
So before I get out of here, who would you peg as the new writer for Venom after this? Because they got to have somebody else coming up, right?
Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah. I mean, the obvious choice for me, if you want to keep it horror, would be Al Ewing.
Ooh, yeah, because he's rolling off Immortal Hulk.
Mm-hmm. He's coming off a Hulk pretty soon.
I wouldn't mind seeing Colin Bunn go back to Venom. This is a different version of Venom, too. Plus, then he's so good with horror and all that kind of, that creepy horror-y stuff, too, with Harold County and all that stuff. So,
all right, I got to get out of here, guys.
Well, right. I showed up just to see everybody leave.
Take it easy, guys. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right, it's just a Gabe and Omnidog show.
I didn't know that I was going to scare everyone away when I showed up.
I didn't know we were going to talk that long about WandaVision, but it was a good talk.
Is there anything left to talk about?
Probably not. Bye, Jess. I'm out of here too.
Okay.
Kenny Crazy says Al Ewing can do no wrong writing anyone at Marvel. Love his work. I agree. Al Ewing's great.
I agree with that too.
But it's one of those things where does he have a vision for Venom? Does he have, a solid story and a passion for it? Obviously, he did for Hulk because he really made Hulk a cool comic book title. Again, it's been a long time since Hulk has been an interesting comic book. I mean, even like Mark Waid, who I love, I wasn't really big into that version of Hulk. It was cool, it was a fun concept, but just
I haven't read his. I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, it was cool. Mark Waid made it where Bruce Banner had almost control of changing the Hulk, but he was like, "Hey, use Hulk as a weapon. Like, I'll be here and I'll do scientifically fun stuff, but if you need to get the job done, just drop Hulk in somewhere like a bomb, and we'll just take care of it that way." So it was a really kind of cool concept like that. It was fun. Quick Shelfie. Let's do Shelfies starting next week. Let's do Shelfies. I'll start bringing that back up because we're almost done with phase 1, and I need to get into phase 2.
Did N-Man 40 ever send you his Shelfies?
I think so.
N-Man 40, did you send Gabe your Shelfies as I suggested? Because he had a lot of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He sent me the Shelfies, and I said you should send them to Omnibros Live because Gabe is the one that handles these, and it was a lot of pictures, so I'm interested to see them.
There's a lot in here. Like seriously, I got it's all full of IST gift card emails too.
Sorry,
I got to delete those with the prejudice. Those blow up my phone and we do those. Severe prejudice, and I delete those. But yeah, so we'll do Shelfie starting next week again, guys. Thanks again for everybody. We've been getting a few here and there. It's a lot. I don't want to tell people not to send us any more Shelfies, but don't send us any more Shelfies for a little bit. It's a lot. Like there's a lot of people who've been waiting. I mean, we've been doing it for almost a year. We've had so many Shelfies that we've been doing it almost a year. Every week almost. I mean, there's a few weeks we've been skipping and stuff like that. We haven't done one this year yet, but it's been a lot. So
N-Man 40 sent his to Geo. Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll bring them back around because there's a lot of Shelfies. So I appreciate everybody waiting to see their Shelfies. Once I get into phase 2, I'll be emailing people back and go, "Hey, your Shelfie is going to be this week." Like I'm going to be a little bit proactive. It's going to be this week so they can show up too and see talk about their collections. Mine's starting to come along a little bit. I started doing some work on my shelf yesterday. Too much going on. I might be missing a couple books. I don't know if I'm missing it or if I sold it. I can't find my Astonishing X-Men Omnibus anywhere.
I know you're missing your Hickman Avengers and Fantastic Four.
I'm not missing them. I know exactly where those are.
They're on my shelves.
On your shelf, yeah.
They're signed to you.
They are. I thought you had 2 copies for a minute there.
No, I needed money really quickly for something, and I had to sell them, and so I was glad that you could help me out. And I need money really quickly all of a sudden again because we got a giant vet bill coming up.
Oh no, poor doggy.
Yeah.
She okay?
She will be. Yeah, she's fine now. They found just by luck a tumor on her spleen, so she has to have a splenectomy. And so, but she'll be fine after that. They don't need their spleen. Apparently, we don't generally need our spleens either. If Psycho Seb's in the chat, he can correct me because he's a nurse. But so yeah, it just needs to be removed, and she recovers, and she'll be back to herself. But she has to wear the cone of shame. And although they have a onesie now that you can put on them and it fits them, so they can't get at their stitches, and they can walk around without the cone. So we're thinking about putting her in that.
I remember when I got my dog fixed, and we had to put the cone of shame on her.
Yeah,
and she was so messed up from the drugs that she couldn't keep her head up when she had the cone on.
Yeah,
so I put the cone on her, and she'd just go like she'd struggle to keep her head up. So I had to take it off of her for a little bit.
Psycho Seb, aren't you a nurse? Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I thought you were a nurse because you're the one that corrected me on metacarpals and metatarpals.
But I've heard that too. That the spleen is a very necessary organ, or is that? That's the pain.
Yeah,
too, right. I don't know.
No, I remember I accidentally ruptured a guy's spleen in tackle. Oh, he's a teacher. Somebody corrected me on the metacarpals and metatarpals. Who was that?
He might have. He might just know because he's a teacher.
No, he says it wasn't him. I ruptured a guy's spleen my freshman year in college playing tackle football out on the field, and he it was Hooniverse. Okay, that's Hooniverse. Okay, thank you, Hooniverse. Yeah.
Also, if you lose your spleen, the liver does extra work, I guess.
Yeah, metatarsals, and I broke my metacarpal, right, Hooniverse? Right. I remember that. You remember metatarsals because T for toe, and that's where they are. That's what I was always taught.
The more you know. I wish I had that gift for the more you know.
That's right. I show up and the conversation immediately devolves away from comics and into spleen and bones.
And doggy talk.
And doggy talk, which is actually good.
It's always
Doggy
good.
talk's always fun.
My poor dog is getting old. She's getting tired.
You have a wiener dog, right?
Yep. Yeah. That's my first kid.
Yeah, wiener dogs are great.
She's a beautiful dog. I love her so much. All right, Jess. You want to go and cut this out?
Have you guys done IST stuff?
Oh, we didn't do the second one yet.
Okay.
Second one?
Yeah, sure. InStockTrades.com is the sponsor for this show, where you can get up to 50% off your books. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. There's always a $50 gift card given to us at the end of every month, which is getting closer, that we can give away to a viewer like you to use in any way you see fit. Over $50 in an order in the United States gets you free shipping, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Plus, they extended the 2%, I think, for a day. It's like, if you buy on a Tuesday, it now expires the following Wednesday. So you don't have to buy something Monday to qualify for it Tuesday.
Yeah, somebody said that it's an 8-day window now for that 2% loyalty discount.
Yeah. So you're automatically locked in for the following Tuesday. Right. Thank you, Psycho Sub. I 100% agree with that sentiment. And I'm sorry I wasn't here for more of the show.
It's all good, Jess. We'll talk more about WandaVision.
Yeah, I'm going to go watch it as soon as my head clears up. And I'm going to watch Wonder Woman 84 with my wife tonight.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you had to say about that.
You've already seen it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. You need to watch Dread 3D, Jess.
3D? Is it different than... Well, I don't have a... What do you mean 3D?
That's just what it's called.
Oh.
Because that was back in the day where they were trying to like squeeze 3D into everything.
Is that the one with Carl Urban?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody says that. I do need to see it because I'm gonna start my Judge Dredd-a-thon up again this week.
Oh, that'll put you right in the mood. That'll
okay.
Get the gears turning for some.
I need my head to clear up. There's so much I want to do today.
All right, Jess. Well, I'll talk to you later.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Everybody, thanks for showing up, and I hope everybody has a great day.